The sounds we hear. Text by Oksana Vasilenko. Sounds surround us. But most of the time, we don't even notice they are there. What is sound? How is it made? How does it behave? What does sound look like? Why do you see lightning before you hear thunder? Why do we have two ears instead of one? How is it whales can sing underwater and humans can't? Why does a star exploding in space make less sound than a leaf landing on grass? The sounds we hear answers all these questions and lots of others. It also explains how sound is measured, how it is heard, and how we use it and control it. There are also some simple experiments that you can do to learn more about sound. The sounds we hear. Text by Oksana Vasilenko. Table of contents. What sounds do you hear? Page 2. Making sounds. Page 4. Sound waves. Page 6. Different sounds. Page 8. Hearing. Page 16. Speech organs. Page 24. Echo. Page 28. How sonar works. Page 30. Sounds in water. Page 32. Sounds in the dark. Page 36. Sounds in the earth. Page 38. Sounds in space. Page 40. Experiments with sound. Page 42. Index. Page 48. Text by Oksana Vasilenko. What sounds do you hear? Close your eyes and listen. What can you hear? People talking? A clock ticking? Birds singing? Music playing? The hum of an air conditioner? There are many sounds to hear. Nature is full of sounds. People make sounds. When they talk or play a musical instrument, they are making sounds. What sounds can you hear in the classroom? In the street? In the park? What sounds do animals make? What sounds does your body make? The study of sound is called acoustics. Let's find out about sounds. Making sounds. Before you can hear a sound, there has to be a vibration. Something has to move back and forth. Stretch a rubber band between your fingers and pluck it. Can you see it move? Can you hear a sound? Try using a piece of thread or string. Tie one end around a chair leg and hold the other end tight. Pluck the string. What happens? Plucking a tight string makes it vibrate. It makes a sound. See the vibration. 1. Fill a glass half full of water. Tap it gently. What do you see? 2. The water in the glass will shake slightly. What happens? It is the glass that is vibrating. The water lets you see the vibration. Sound waves. A vibrating object makes waves in the air. These waves are called sound waves. Sound waves send vibrations to our ears. Sounds travel through the air at the same speed, the speed of sound, which is 1,240 kilometres per hour. Sounds also travel through water and the ground. Sometimes people can feel sound waves with their bodies. Have you ever heard very loud thunder? Have you ever sat in a car where the bass is turned up high? This is how scientists draw sound waves. In a storm, you will see the lightning before you hear the thunder. When you see lightning, count the number of seconds before you hear the thunder. Divide the number of seconds by 5. The answer tells you how far away the storm is in miles. To find kilometres, multiply by 1.6.
When you see lightning, count the number of seconds before you hear the thunder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This storm is 1 mile away.
Different sounds. Sounds can be loud or soft. Very loud sounds are strong sound waves. An aeroplane engine makes a loud sound. A whisper is a soft sound. The loudness of sounds is measured on the decibel scale. Sounds that are very loud on the decibel scale can hurt your ears and damage your hearing. The loudness of sound is measured in decibels. Here are some examples. The loudness of sound is measured in decibels. Here are some examples. This is a decibel scale chart. 150 decibels, jet engine. 120 decibels, train horn. 90 decibels, truck engine. 60 decibels, crowd noise. 20 decibels, whisper. In a storm, you will see the lightning before you hear the thunder. When you see lightning, count the number of seconds before you hear the thunder. Divide the number of seconds by 5. The answer tells you how far away the storm is in miles. To find kilometres, multiply by 1.6. Sounds can be high or low. A high sound is like a scream. A low sound is like a hum. Children have smaller vocal cords, see page 24, than adults, and so their voices are high. Vocal cords grow as a child grows. Boys' voices change from high to low when they are in their early teens. This is how scientists show high and low sounds. The sound waves that produce a scream, for example, follow each other faster than the ones that make a hum.
Click on a button to see the kind of sound that a low, medium, or high sound wave makes.
This singer is a soprano. She sings higher than the other singers. People who sing low sounds are called basses. Sounds can be pleasing or harsh sounding to the ear. Since most people like pleasant sounds, pleasing sounds are made into music and songs. Music is made with musical instruments that are made of materials that produce a good sound. Every instrument has its own unique sound or voice, just like people. A piano makes sounds when the hammer hits a string. If the string is short and thin, the sound will be high. If it is long and thick, the sound will be low. The shape of a violin and the thickness of the wood it is made from give it a voice. The human body is also a musical instrument. Singing, whistling, and clapping are ways of making music. Almost anything can be a musical instrument if it makes a pleasing sound. Other objects make unpleasant sounds, such as a lawnmower. Some noises can be loud and unpleasant. String instruments make sounds when vibrations are produced by plucking a string, guitar, drawing a bow across the strings, violin, or hitting them with a little hammer, piano. This string instrument is called a cello. Wind instruments make sounds when air is blown into them. In this orchestra there are trombones, trumpets, clarinets and flutes. Percussion instruments make sounds when they are struck. Here are some drums and cymbals.
Click on an instrument to listen to the sound it makes.
Hearing. People hear with their ears. Having two ears allows people to tell what direction the sound is coming from. Listen to the sounds around you. Can you tell where they are coming from? How far away are they? There is an eardrum inside your ear that vibrates when sound waves hit it. Where is the sound coming from? 1. One person is blindfolded and stands in a circle of 3 others. 2. Each person in the circle claps their hands, one at a time. The blindfolded person points to where they think the sound is coming from. 3. Have someone keep a record of how often the blindfolded person gets it right. Human ears cannot hear all sounds. Some animals, like dogs and bats, can make and hear sounds that humans can't hear because the sounds are either too high or too low. Hearing is very important for animals. It helps them find food and keep safe if the sound means danger. The rabbit has large ears to increase its hearing. It can move its ears around to pick up sounds. Big ears help animals, such as foxes and rabbits, to hear soft sounds. Moving their ears around helps them to tell where the sound is coming from. It might mean danger is approaching. Owls hunt at night. They need very good hearing to catch their prey. If they had big ears like a rabbit, it would be harder for them to fly. So instead, owls have one ear lower than the other, which helps them to tell where a sound is coming from. Hearing is important for people because we communicate with sounds. Sometimes people are born deaf or with hearing loss, or they can lose their hearing because of injury or illness. If a person cannot hear what other people are saying, there are other ways to communicate, like signing and fingerspelling. Evelyn Glennie is a world-famous percussionist who has been deaf since she was 12. She feels the vibrations through her hands and feet when she performs. Fingerspelling. Deaf people often communicate using sign language. Fingerspelling uses letters to spell words and sign language uses actions for whole words.
Click on a word to see it in sign language. Book. Children. Hello. Fantastic. Teacher. Goodbye. School. Read.
Different people have different levels of hearing. Some people wear hearing aids to help them hear better. There is other technology to help deaf people with everyday hearing tasks. For example, television programs can have captions, movies can have subtitles, video recorders can read and record subtitles, and video phones can work over personal computers and in conferences. Hearing aids fit in the ear or behind it and help people to hear. They make sounds louder. Technology for the deaf. Mobile phones receive text messages and internet downloads. They have a vibration alert if there is a message. Computers send and receive emails. Small handheld computers are popular with deaf people. Video conferencing can come with captions. Lights show if someone rings the doorbell. Speech organs. Humans can create different sounds using their speech organs. Speech organs are the nose, mouth, tongue, lips, and vocal cords. Vocal cords are in the throat. You make sounds when you force air out of your lungs past your vocal cords. Try making different sounds and feeling where they are made. What is vibrating? We make sounds by pushing air out of our lungs past our vocal cords. If we make a low sound, our vocal cords open. If we make a high sound, they close. Feeling the sounds. Say, mmm. Try to feel the sound in your mouth. Can you feel your lips vibrating? Say, pee. Can you feel the air explode from your lips? Gently touch your throat with your fingertips and breathe out through your mouth. Now say, oh. Can you feel your throat moving and vibrating? That's your vocal cords working. Making more sounds. Put your hand in front of your face. Now sing your favourite song. What can your hand feel? Where is the air coming from? Take a mirror and sing the song again. Watch your lips. Are they open or closed? Are they rounded or stretched? Pinch your nose and try singing again. What happens? What does your tongue do when you say that? How about these? Echo. An echo happens when a sound comes back. It's like throwing a ball at a wall so that it hits the wall and comes back. This is what happens if you shout in a big room. The walls and the ceiling reflect the sound and bounce it back so that you hear it again. An echo is softer than the original sound. If the wall is too far away, the echo is too soft to hear. Open spaces, such as paddocks or deserts, have no echoes because there is nothing to reflect the sound back to you. Echoes can be a nuisance in places like restaurants where there are crowds of people. Carpet on the floor helps keep the noise down, softening or reducing the echoes. In large spaces like concert halls, echoes can bounce between the walls many times. This can make it difficult to hear the music clearly. That is why architects design concert halls so that the sound from the stage can be heard from anywhere inside the hall. Special materials are used to cover the walls. These materials absorb the sound so that it doesn't create an echo. The Sydney Opera House Concert Hall is panelled in wood on the ceiling and walls. This means that the audience can hear no matter where they are sitting. How sonar works. People have invented devices that use echoes to find things in places where they can't see. Sonar comes from sound navigation and ranging. A sonar device has a sender and a receiver. The sender makes a sound, a ping, and the receiver detects the echoes. Sonar is used by Navy ships to find other ships and submarines. It is also used by fishers to find schools of fish. Sonar can be used to find schools of fish. The pings can be plotted on a screen to show fish and other objects under the boat. Scientists use sonar to study the sea. They can measure the depth of the sea and see how flat or how rough the seabed is. The sonar sends out little sounds called pings and measures how long it takes the pings to come back, like an echo. This technology was developed after the Titanic sank when it hit an iceberg in 1912. Sounds in water. Sound waves can be made in water. Scuba divers can even play music by beating a drum or ringing bells underwater, but they cannot talk. People need air to breathe and to talk. So if people are talking in the water, they only make lots of air bubbles. This scuba diver can't speak underwater. She is just making bubbles as air comes out of her nose and mouth. Instead, she uses hand signals to communicate. The blue whale is the largest creature ever to live on Earth. It makes sounds that are heard thousands of kilometres away. Even though whales need air to breathe, they can sing in the water. This is because they don't breathe any air out when they are singing. Whales sing with their noses. A whale can move the air inside its nose. The vibration of the air inside its nose makes the whale's head vibrate too. The beluga whale is very good at singing. Sailors can hear beluga whales singing through the hulls of their ships. They call them sea canaries. Humpback whales can sing for 20 to 40 minutes. The songs change slightly every day, but on any day, all humpback whales sing the same song. Their songs can be heard hundreds of kilometres away by other whales and by people using underwater sound equipment. Male humpback whales sing songs to attract female humpback whales. Dolphins can make sounds underwater and in the air. They make clicks, grunts, squeaks and other noises. Underwater, they do it the whale's way, with their noses. In the air, they do it with their mouths, the same way as humans. Dolphins are very good at using echoes. They can even tell other dolphins what they see. Sounds in the dark. Deep water is very dark. Animals can't see much in the dark, so how do they find food and keep safe from other animals that might prey on them? Whales and dolphins use sounds to see in the water. When their sounds hit something, like a fish or a cliff, they come back to the animal. The animal listens for these echoes. If no echo comes back, then there is nothing around. The faster the echo comes back, the closer the object is. This is called echolocation. A humpback whale finds a shoal of herring. Using echoes to see in the dark also works in the air. Bats live in dark caves and come out to hunt at night. Bats make sounds that are mostly too high for human ears to hear. Echoes from these sounds help them catch flying insects. An animal, such as a bat, can find its prey and catch it even in darkness using echolocation. If an echo is a bit louder on the right, then the prey is more to the right. Sounds in the earth. Sound waves travel through solid objects like the ground. Scientists use special devices called seismographs to hear the seismic waves made by earthquakes, even those on the other side of the world. People can't hear seismic waves, but some animals can. Some scientists believe that these animals can even predict an earthquake, an avalanche, or a tsunami. Earthquakes sometimes cause a tsunami or an avalanche, a massive snow and ice that crashes down a mountain. This is what a scientist would see on a seismograph, a machine that measures seismic waves.
The seismograph picks up the seismic waves that are made by earthquakes. This shows any movements of the ground.
Earthquakes can happen anywhere. Here, a highway has collapsed during an earthquake. Many earthquakes happen deep in the ocean, and scientists can use the seismographs to warn people living on coastal areas that a tsunami might occur. Sounds in space. Sound doesn't travel through space. Space has no air, no water, no ground. Nothing to transmit the vibrations to your ears. If you rang a bell in space, you wouldn't hear the sound. Two astronauts can talk to each other if they press their helmets together. The sound waves from one helmet will go through into the other and reach the ears of the other astronaut. However, astronauts usually use their radios to talk to each other and to ground control. Here is an explosion in space from the movie Star Wars. The filmmakers use loud noises for the explosions. However, if this was really happening in space, you wouldn't hear any sound at all. Experiments with sound. Changing the sound. You can make high and low sounds by using different quantities of water in a glass. Mix food colouring into a jug of water.
Click on a glass to hear the sound it makes.
Place 5 glasses on a soft surface, such as wool or toweling. Fill each glass to a different level. Now, gently tap each glass with a pen and listen to the sounds. Do they all make the same sound? What happens? The air in the glass vibrates, making a sound. The more air there is, the higher the sound. So the glass with the least water will make the highest sound. The glass with the most water will make the lowest sound. Make the sounds louder. If you make a cone or funnel with your hands or a piece of paper, you can make your voice louder. The funnel amplifies your voice. Roll a sheet of thick paper or thin cardboard into a cone shape, with one narrow end for your mouth. Tape the edges. Stand in front of a friend and talk normally into the cone. Walk backwards away from him. Your friend tells you when he can't hear you anymore. Now do this without the cone. Can your friend hear you when you are further away or not? What happens? The cone acts like a megaphone and stops the sound waves escaping into the air around you. More of the sound reaches your friend's ears, and so the sound seems louder. Soundproofing. The airport worker on page 8 is wearing ear protection to keep out the sound from the aeroplane engine. People soundproof their houses and workplaces too, with materials that absorb sounds. Line the insides of a box with towels. Then cover the sides, top and bottom of the box with egg cartons. Set an alarm clock to go off in about 5 minutes. Put it into the box and close the box. Did you hear the alarm go off? Compare the sound to an alarm going off in an empty box. What happens? The uneven egg containers break up the sound waves, making them weaker. The towels absorb sound and stop it from getting out of the box.
Make a newspaper front page about the story. Make your own picture. Click on Help to watch a demonstration. Complete your ID by typing in your name. Click Next when you have finished. Set a date. Choose the month. Choose the day. Great, that's today's date. Type in a name for your newspaper. Click on a headline for your story. Sound is everywhere. Type your story. Drag a picture for your story onto the newspaper front page. Click Next when you've finished. Write a caption or label for the picture. Check your newspaper carefully. If you want to make any changes, click on the Revise button beside the part you want to change. Otherwise, click on Publish to make your newspaper. You can print your newspaper or play again.
Story Toolbox. Type your name and click Next. Create a new story. Have fun clicking on the buttons. Then drag items onto the board to make a picture. Type or write your story underneath the picture. Click Next to make another page or click Finish to view your story. Fantastic work! Click Save to save your story. Click Print to print your story. Or click Start Again to make another story.